Randy Rogers.
Here, phone's off.
We got to get it back out because we got to talk about this bourbon.
Oh yeah, I know everything about the bourbon.
All right. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
In town, Ascend tomorrow.
Yes.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, I haven't played that amphitheater yet, but I Googled it, and
You're like, this looks okay.
it's huge.
It is big.
Yeah, it's cool.
What is it? You, Parker?
Yeah. And
How'd you get linked up with him?
So Parker and I met. He opened a show for me like 7 years ago in Corpus Christi.
Wait, how old is he?
He's 29.
I didn't know he was that old. He
Yeah,
looks like he's 12.
Yeah, you know, they say in this business, like, overnight success, it's bullshit, you know.
Doesn't happen.
Takes forever in the music industry. So I had a management company at the time. So he opened the show. I ran out there and saw the show.
I love his stuff.
Went up to him afterwards, said, hey, come on the bus. Let's talk about what you're doing.
Sure.
And I started managing him. And so then I told him, like, no contracts, no ties that bind.
So you went with the Irv and George Strait deal.
When we get to the point that you need to fly, then, you know, we'll get you an airplane. And so brought him to Nashville, got him a publishing deal first at Warner Chappell, where I have my publishing deal. And then started shopping him to the record labels. And, you know, the rest, they say, is history. He's had 2 number ones.
How does he already have his own wine?
Oh, he asked me to bring you his wine.
I know. Why does he have his own wine?
I guess.
Where's he from?
To celebrate. He's from Conroe, Texas. So he knows everything about wine there in north of Houston.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he asked me to bring it to you. It's good, right? I think it was a celebration of Pretty Heart.
Yeah.
His first song being number 1.
Gotcha.
So yeah. So I just left his house, actually. That's why I have that bottle. I don't carry him around with me.
I love it. I appreciate it.
Just left his house. We were writing a song today.
You two guys writing a song?
Yeah, with another guy named Randy Montana. Randy Montana.
I know Randy.
Yeah.
Awesome dude.
So yeah, so
talented writer.
We just finished. Yeah, it's so funny. He was like literally was riding around his property on a tractor this morning and said that the song popped in his head. So we just finished it literally like 20 minutes ago.
You like it?
I love it, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that how? I mean, because you write a lot of your stuff. Is that how it kind of goes? It just kind of pops in?
It's so hit or miss.
Really?
I mean, it's one day it's like it falls out of the sky in your lap, and then the next day you stare at your co-writer and you don't come up with anything, you know. And then there's some days you write just pure trash, you know. Like
this isn't gonna work for us.
Yeah. So, you know, I've been on the road 22 years doing this. Like Chesney cut a song of mine right off the bat, like right when I first got to town, like 15 years ago. But then I hadn't had. Parker cut 3 that I wrote on the last record, but hadn't had a whole lot of mainstream country success. You know, we joked about that.
We were just joking about it. Like I mean, I remember. I mean, early mid 2000s, and you know, meeting you and like you know, I mean, you had some. I mean, Interstate and In Your Arm, like just straight jams, and it was like radio just wouldn't play them. Like, it made 0 sense.
Yeah, it's interesting because like. Radio did play it, but it was in pockets. So, like, you know, Denver, Kansas City, Chicago. They, you know, I was getting played on the radio, but for whatever reason, the record label couldn't ever get all the stations in the country at the same time on board.
To play it.
Right. So, like, you know, people always ask me if I'm, like, bitter about that shit, but I'm not at all because... Like, I just had you know, been, like you said, been in the game a long time, 22 years. And
it's a long time.
I had my biggest ever, like, hard ticket night in Kansas City, like, 4 months ago, ever in my career. So it's just kind of hard to believe that that's true after being in the game that long.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, I think it is a testament to your success and your longevity and, like, how well you've done over a course of your career. I mean, that's a long-ass time to be still cutting records and playing and touring. Yeah,
I made the huge mistake the other day. Like, I was doing this interview and somebody, like, I said, well, shit, I've been, you know, a professional musician 22 years. It's just like Tom Brady. Like, you know, he gets to retire. Well, I guess not anymore, but he gets to retire. And then, of course, all the haters, like, slam me. Oh, Rogers comparing himself to Tom Brady. Yeah, that's not what I meant. I said it takes a toll on your mind and your body, like being in the game, being on the road, airplanes at 5 in the morning, 14, 15-hour bus rides.
A lot of sacrifices.
Yeah, and just missing the kids, missing home.
Yeah.
You know, this shit, like, weighs down on you. It's not like the most healthiest lifestyle in the world to be a musician.
Hell no.
So
Late nights, traveling, grinding. It's not easy
Yeah.
by any means.
Now, like, so the girls are 11, 8, and just turned 5, and 3 little girls, and I just think, like, is it worth it still?
To keep going?
To keep
Do you,
busting my ass?
do you have those talks? I mean, because whenever I was kind of done, my kids they were a little bit younger, but I was like, I mean, do I keep doing this and traveling? And I mean, I was like I compared football to being basically like a school teacher, because your summers you're just off. But you get to a point, it's like, all right, like, when's enough?
Yeah, I have those thoughts
Yeah.
quite often. Like, if you looked at my calendar right now, just the tour itself,
Yeah.
like, I'm home 6 days in June.
Well, I just looked it up. Like, I mean, you're literally here, the entire state of Texas, Nebraska, Montana. Like, you're all over the place.
Yeah, we call it the never-ending tour.
Yeah.
It's a joke, but, like, you meet people on the road, and they're like, so,
Denver, I saw Denver, the Grizzly Rose.
oh, yeah. So, like, are you on tour? I'm like, on tour, yeah. 22 years I've been on tour. It never ends. Because, like, when you're on the level that we're on, we don't have that superstar status where we're, selling out arenas.
Yeah.
And we can do, hey, we're going to do 55 dates, do all arenas, and
Yeah.
then we'll take some private party money.
Yep.
We'll open for whoever here and there that's way bigger than us. And so let's just call it 65 dates a year. We don't have that luxury. I'm still, like, if you put my acoustic shows, I go out with Wade Bowen, and we do this thing called Hold My Beer and Watch This.
Yep.
Which is kind of funny songs.
Those two albums, like, you can listen top to bottom. They're incredible.
Yeah, all the songs are like goofy, funny, male duet. Male duet songs are hard, by the way,
I'm sure they
to
are.
pull off. There's like a limited things you can say and talk about. But, with all those shows, it does add up to still like over 150 days a year.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So,
You guys are mostly on bus?
mostly on bus, and just, I'll stay the night and fly home if I can.
Yeah.
But yes, is it still worth it? Yes. Do I still enjoy it? Yes. But there are those moments of, like, is it worth it? But my wife, she goes, you see your kids more than, like, an accountant,
For sure.
like 9 to 5er
Yeah.
sees his kids. Because after work, he has a function. He gets
Yep.
home, it's 8 o'clock. They're going to bed,
Yep.
and then he's gone in the morning
In the
before they
morning,
get up.
yeah.
So I do a lot of soccer practice. I do a lot of tennis practice. I get to be there in those, like, 3 or 4 days a week, where
Right.
when I'm there, I'm taking them to school, picking them up.
Doing all the things.
I've seen you pick your kids up from school, by the way.
Yeah, do that.
And, so, I mean, it's give and take. You miss every weekend. You miss a lot of birthday parties and things that they're involved in. But
It's still an exciting life. I mean, you're doing some fun stuff. And I'm sure, like, I'm sure they look at you and, like, hey, like, this is amazing to see what my dad does on stage,
Yeah.
singing songs on the radio, Spotify. Like, it's
yes, I think it really sunk in. Just a humble brag here. Like 2 weekends ago, I had the opportunity, this dream come true for me, to open up for George Strait and Willie Nelson. That's why I'm wearing the George Strait shirt. And my little,
how'd that happen? How'd that come about?
I believe Corin Capshaw and my manager Enzo DiVincenzo
Oh, I love Enzo.
made a phone call.
I gotcha.
And I've played with George before. I've played with Willie before, but just having a night with both of them, we
Yeah.
actually did 2 nights, Friday and Saturday. But my kids came out Saturday,
Yeah.
and I think it's sunk into them. Like, okay,
Dad's a big ass deal.
Dad's dad.
Yeah.
And they've come to a lot of shows, but
Sure.
not, an arena that's sold out
Yeah.
with the energy that was there.
Incredible.
And what was funny is, like, all week, the littlest one, who she can sing, and they can all sing, right?
Yeah.
The littlest one's rolling around and singing, you been on my mind.
Love that song.
It's so funny. But it took her seeing it like the 5-year-old in
Sure.
that, arena,
Yeah.
that stage.
For it to be like,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
It's cool.
That's very
I just hope they don't grow up and hate me for it. Like, you were always gone. You chose yourself over us.
I mean, no. I mean, you're like you said, you're around enough, and you're not that.
No,
Did you?
You're like,
grow-
you're my therapist. Thank you.
Yeah. We can talk through this one. Trust me.
Pop quiz. How safe is your internet browsing? I bet you don't know, do you? You might not even be thinking about it, but you know who is? Hackers, advertisers, data companies. There are a lot of people who know what you're doing online. So let me help you out by hooking you up with my friends at IPVanish. IPVanish is a VPN, a virtual private network. You may or may not know what it is, but a VPN basically makes you invisible to all those prying eyes on the web. You just connect to IPVanish and then go browse wherever you want. And IPVanish encrypts your data to make sure your info like passwords and private details remain yours. You can use IPVanish on unlimited devices without sacrificing on speed, your computers, tablets, phones, even devices like your Fire Stick when you're streaming media. Whether I'm at home or in public, I don't go online anymore without using IPVanish. And right now they're offering an incredible 70% off their yearly plan for our listeners with a 30-day money-back guarantee. That's just like getting 9 months for free. Stop sharing your digital info with the world. Take your privacy back today with a brand rated 4.6 out of 5 on Trustpilot. So go to ipvanish.com/Cutler and use promotional code Cutler and claim your 70% savings. That's ipvanish.com/Cutler.
Did you grow up playing music? Like, what were you like as a kid? Like, were you playing guitar, piano, like singing, or?
Yeah, I'm your son of a preacher. So.
Oh, you are.
I was in church.
That's kind of there's a theme there with a lot of a lot of singers. I just had who was just here? Breland was in here and grew up in church. His mom, both were pastors, and same thing.
Yeah, I was playing piano, and like when they'd have the altar call, or when they'd pass the offering plate, I get up there and play, and then like when it was time for special music, I get up there and do the little song. So I've been on stage every weekend since I was 10 or 11.
So I mean, it's just old news to you.
Yeah, and I was playing guitar, and I would lead the youth group, you know. And then I started playing like the Opries. In Texas, we have these like Opries, and they have like talent competitions. And so like all your grandparents go to see you play.
Is it like a fair type of thing?
No, there's actual like Opry houses.
Really?
And so they have like live music every Saturday night. And they have professional musicians, but then they invite younger artists to come up and do a song or two. And
Okay.
I won 3rd place in the Burleson Jamboree when I was like 15. I was singing Tim McGraw, Don't Take the Girl.
Okay.
3rd place.
Uh-huh.
So I started doing that, and then went to college. And
Where did you go to college?
Southwest Texas State University, which is now no longer exists. It's Texas.
Southwest Texas State University.
Yeah, now it's Texas State University.
You got rid of the Southwest.
Yeah, and so at college,
Did you have a band in high school?
we were like in a rock band. Like I played Pearl Jam and Nirvana. You know, I had the butt cut, haircut. You know?
You did?
Oh yeah.
No kidding.
I was not very cool, but yeah. So we played like a lot of garage, you know, grunge rock bands. But I was performing
in
like
Texas.
Oh yeah, I was performing on the weekends, and because when I opened my mouth, I sounded like a hick. You know? And so I knew that I couldn't be a rock star.
Yeah.
And I was writing love songs like when I was 13 and 14 about love. I'd never been in love, but I was trying to be like 90s country, you know, sounding.
Sure.
And so, yeah, so then college, I found this place called Cheatham Street Warehouse. It's where actually George Strait, Ace and the Hole started their career. And there was an open mic night. Went down there and met this guy named Kent Finley. And
What were you studying in college? Like, did you have a plan? Was music your plan? Was
public relations, minor in business. Yeah.
So, like, were you like, hey, music might not work. I might have to get a job, or was it like, hey, I'm all in on music. I'm just going to college just because that's the next thing to do.
Yeah, I was all in.
Gotcha.
I was writing songs the whole time. So about 18, 19, I got my heart really broken for the first time.
The girl?
Yeah.
That
To
was-
remain nameless. And then I wrote this song called Lost and Found. So I went down to this open mic night at Cheatham Street, played Lost and Found. Kent Finley came up to me afterwards and said, come back next week. And so then I really started writing.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was writing 2 songs a week.
Oh, really?
And then he told me, hey, after 6 months playing open mic, get a band together. I'll give you Tuesday nights. And Tuesday night at Cheatham Street is sacred. That's when Ace and the Hole, George Strait played every Tuesday night. Stevie Ray Vaughan played Tuesday nights there. Through the years, that was like the night. So I played there for a year.
It's kind of amazing that you were in that place at that time and just coincidence and.
I almost didn't go to college there. I almost went to University of North Texas because it has a better music school.
Gotcha.
And I met this girl like at a youth and government convention, and
So there's always a girl involved
I
somehow.
know we skipped, and then we skipped out on the deal, and we went to San Marcos. San Marcos is a great town.
Yeah.
And went to float the river and drink beer.
Sure.
And she's like, "You should come to school here." And then I never saw her again.
You're like,
But
"Yeah, I should if you're gonna be here.
yeah, and so that's just those moments in life that change things. And so then I started the band, and then never looked back. Really graduated college and never got a real job. Got in an '88 Suburban. Started playing shows. And
I mean, you've been with. I mean, your band, like you guys have been together for.
22 years, same 5 guys.
That's
21 years, same 5
That's
guys.
insanity. Damn near impossible.
It's an anomaly.
It really is.
And we still get along. I mean, there's been some fist fights and some blood, but we still, it just works,
All Texas guys.
Yeah, all Texas guys, and when we started the band, we all had nothing to lose, so it's kind of easy to get going.
Sure. It's like, hey, we're just doing this shit.
Yeah, we could sleep on people's couches,
Yeah.
and so we were sleeping on couches and opening shows, and so about that time, Cross Canadian Ragweed, Pat Green, Jack Ingram.
Yep.
Some of these guys started having success
Yeah.
up here in Nashville.
Yep.
And we were opening shows for them along the way.
In Texas.
Yes. And then we were, if you want to call it, found out by Luke Lewis at Universal
Yep.
Records, and we signed a deal. We were like 27, so it took 7 years
Of grinding down in
Yeah.
Texas, of just playing bars and whatever, opening and doing the whole thing.
'88 Suburban to a van, and then we burned the van up, and then it hit another van before we ever got into a bus. So it wasn't like we signed a deal and they handed us a bunch of money.
Oh, it doesn't work like that.
We were already in a bus when we signed the deal.
Yeah.
What a life-changing moment for you young musicians out there, the difference between a van and a bus. Oh my God.
So you guys had you had a ton of success at that point. If you had a bus down in Texas, you guys were doing it.
Right, we were.
Like you guys weren't a small enterprise at that point.
No, I mean we had it going on.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of people to thank for that too. Like Robert O'Keen had already blazed the trail. I mean, if you go back further than that in Texas, Willie and Waylon and like everything that happened in Austin, like in the '70s, Armadillo World Headquarters. There were so many first of all, in Texas, there's so many fairs and festivals.
Sure.
Every little town has like a thing.
Yep.
And so there's already like multiple avenues for your music to get out
A lot
there.
of opportunities.
Right, and it's because it's such a.
We're at Nashville at that time, early on, there was just the bars down. I mean, there's a shit ton now, but like back then, like there was just a couple places downtown that was doing music. I feel like.
Yeah, it's definitely not what it is today.
No.
Yeah, and so we first started come up here. Just looking back now, because I have a condo in Midtown. My condo building in Midtown was the only condo building in Midtown at that time.
Downtown now is because I've been here since my first year in college was 2000. It is night and day.
Yeah.
Night and day.
Yeah, it's nuts. Everybody's flocking here.
Yep.
So people always ask me where to go. I'm like, well, all the cool places are gone, bro.
They're done. So
Just got to go down there to the FGL bar. And,
Aldean's Place and Kid Rock's and all the spots.
Yeah.
So when was there ever a point, like whenever you guys are down in Texas doing the thing, like, hey, like let's take this to Nashville and figure this out? Or was it like, hey, let's just keep rolling down there for a little bit and see what happens?
Yeah, there's a bunch of like fuck Nashville sentiment out of Texas. So we had to be really careful about that. Like, you can't come up here and just change your sound and change your look and think you're going to have a career.
Yeah.
Because that business model, it does work for a few people, but only a select few. So the goal was to always have the music as far and as wide as we could spread it, right? And so, unfortunately, in Texas, the music, industry, there is not the infrastructure that is in place in LA, Nashville, New York, right? So you had to go somewhere. So we chose to come to Nashville. Our booking agency's here, business managers are here, record labels here, everything's here, right? So
And it was a different time then. Like, it was radio.
yeah.
It was spins, like Spotify,
Yeah,
Apple
there was none
Music,
of that.
and there's none of that. Like, it was like, you know, you had your radio guys, you had your radio execs, and like you're literally just going into the radio stations and saying, hey, handshake, please play the music, sucking them off, doing the whole thing.
Yeah, it looked like, looking back on it, I didn't take that as serious as I should have. You know, we go visit somebody in, I don't know, Philly or wherever that had nothing, I had nothing in common with them, right?
Zero.
And I had such a chip on my shoulder back then. I was like, you know, fuck this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need to be here trying to convince this person. You know.
Take my ass back to Texas. We'll keep playing shows.
But at the same time, I mean,
Do you think that was part of the problem, or
No.
do you think it was something different?
No, it wasn't that. I think like my sound, I didn't change my sound. My sound evolved as a band.
Yeah.
We didn't go hire studio musicians and make it slick and sound like not us. Like if you go to see us tomorrow night, you're gonna we sound like our records.
100%.
And that's how we wanted it to be.
Yeah, like hearing your records and hearing you live it's literally the same thing.
So I don't
They're
think
amazing.
I don't think it was a no effort on my part because I played the game. I didn't come to the major leagues to not play, right?
Sure.
I played hard.
You're gonna show up.
Yeah, I showed up, did everything they ever asked me to do. I don't have any regrets at all about being on a label. I think the music itself, what was getting played on the radio, took a drastic turn. Like, it's been called, you know, bro country, or you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't have to name names or talk shit, right? Because I ain't in that business. But, like, what was getting spun on country radio, for whatever reason, shifted. And so then I was just kind of like, everybody loves the Randy Rogers Band at the record label. Everybody loves Randy Rogers Band in town.
Yep.
But radio, their companies were shrinking too, right? They were getting bought up by bigger companies. And so the playlists shortened, and there wasn't room. I mean, if there's any, like...
It always baffled me.
Explanation about it, you know, that's it. It just... My sound wasn't popular there for a minute. And then what's funny now is it's like, I mean, like you see the success of Midland, you know, and other traditional country sounding acts, right? It's just time, you know. Timing's everything in this world.
It really is. You're 100% right. Timing is damn near everything.
Yeah, but I don't feel like a failure, or I don't feel like I didn't like meet up the expectations. The expectations were to sign a major record deal and make the big leagues, right? I mean, I did that.
Did it?
Opened for George Strait, Willie Nelson. Check it off the list. You know.
You're still going.
Yeah, there were so many bucket list things that, you know, if you go back and read my journals or things that I've had my picture made with, you know, just bucket list things. I mean, I've had a hell of a ride. It ain't over.
Everybody say it's not stopping. The ride's still going.
Yeah, 22 years in it though.
It's a long time.
I could retire.
You could. You could.
The CFOs that get it, get it. The CFOs that don't, don't. Let's talk about the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. Today's CFO is critical to the strategy and success of the business. And in growing companies, there are two kinds of CFOs. One who's struggling to keep up, spreadsheets everywhere. It takes weeks to close the books. Other kind is on top of their game. Automated reports, inventory, e-commerce, and the HR flow, insights coming with the click of a button. And the financial pros that get it use NetSuite by Oracle, because NetSuite gives you everything you need in one place. Visibility, control of your financials, inventory, HR, planning, and budgeting. That's why NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system used by businesses across the globe to power their growth. You've poured everything into your business, so take back control of your finances with NetSuite. You can automate so many of your processes and close your books in no time while staying well ahead of your competition. An edge that every business needs, including mine. Over 29,000 businesses already use NetSuite. Head to netsuite.com/Cutler for a special one-of-a-kind financing offer. That's netsuite.com/Cutler. netsuite.com/Cutler.
Are you still writing a lot?
Yeah, I think now my focus isn't more so on writing, because it always was. Like I always considered myself a songwriter. But now with Parker's success and just my visibility here in town, and
do you think that you're going to kind of get in more of like the writing, mentorship, putting more people under you and doing that going forward and kind of getting off the road a little bit more, or like where do you see yourself going?
I mean, I really feel like that's the easy transition, right?
Yeah, I mean, other people are making money for you.
Right. So I mean, that would be like you being able to teach someone how to throw a ball. Like,
sure. Wish I could do that.
I can't teach someone how to, you know, invest their money.
Yep.
Right. So it's really the only thing I got. right? The easy transition is to help foster young talent.
Sure. Which there is a lot of. I mean, there's a ton of talent out there.
And
Probably.
yeah, a ton of talent in Texas too that don't
Yeah.
understand the game up here.
Yes.
So, maybe I had a management company during COVID. We had to close shop. So
Yep.
there are some thoughts in my brain that,
Where you go next?
open that management company back up,
Uh-huh.
start fostering this talent,
Yep.
and then continue to write with writers here and down there to try to get those songs cut by the Parkers of the world,
Yeah. He's super talented.
Yeah, it's great. And the success that he has, earned of late didn't come easy without sacrifice.
Yeah, I
he did
didn't-
it the right way.
Yeah, I didn't know he was that old. I thought he was 22, 23, 24 years old.
He's a young looking
He
lad.
is young. He is very young again.
Yeah, so that transition, then I own Cheatham Street Warehouse now in San Marcos. Part of a bar up in North Fort Worth and Roanoke called Chop Shop Live. My wife has a couple boutiques, River Rose boutiques that she runs. Launched
going.
Bondbreaker.
Let's talk about that. We were talking about that when we were looking at the bourbon. So you're doing a bourbon.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
It's a learning curve. Oh, and holy shit, talk about cutthroat.
Oh gosh, it's a saturated, cutthroat business.
Yeah, an industry where people really, they take it really personal.
Oh, hell
They
yeah.
come and tell you like your product sucks or they fall in love with it,
Yeah.
There's no like in between. There's
is
no
it-
like, it's okay. It's like,
Either
they're
it's
all
either
in.
great or this shit sucks.
Yeah, it's weird. Like the snobs, the whiskey snobs and the bourbon snobs. But yes, it's the first ever.
Is there a big whiskey? I mean, I guess whiskey probably big following in Texas.
For sure. Not as big, obviously, as Kentucky.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
yeah. So Hefeweizen whiskey.
Okay.
It's macerated with clove and lemon peel.
Macerated.
Yeah. So blended.
Yep.
It's a 3-year-old whiskey, wheat whiskey. We source it from the Midwest and from Texas. Distill it there in Austin. And it's delicious. It's sweet. Has a great finish. You can drink it on the rocks. I wish I had a bottle to give you. I have one on the bus. If you come out tomorrow, I'll give you one.
Yeah. I'll stop by. We'll
Yeah,
try
it's
it.
delicious. It's called Bondbreaker. Slow River Blend. Bondbreaker is loosely translated in German to mean trailblazer.
You are a trailblazer.
Yeah, I feel that way.
Yeah, for sure.
And I live in New Braunfels, Texas, so it's the spirit of New Braunfels, which is a big German community we have.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's great. 2 Rivers, and we have Wurstfest there, which is the big beer drinking, sausage eating festival.
Seriously?
Oh, you have to come down. It's fantastic.
I did not know this at all.
So yeah, so we're calling our whiskey the spirit of New Braunfels.
I love it.
Yeah, so it's we just started like in October, and it's fun. It's a learning curve. I don't know how to make you whiskey. I know how to drink it.
Yeah, me too.
And we tasted like at least 500 versions of our product.
No shit.
We had like Mondays at 5 p.m. There's 5 founders, and we'd all get together and we'd blind taste them, but they'd just be numbered, and we'd say, well, this tastes like vanilla.
Whatever.
Wow, this is too much clove.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah. I'm sure it was a great time.
Yeah, it was really fun. Get home and be like, you smell. Well, I've been at work.
I'm working.
Yeah. So it was a learning curve, and then it's been fun. I've been doing in-stores.
Yeah.
So like the meet and greet died during COVID. So it's been a minute
Yep.
since I've really done an extended meet and greet.
Are you guys doing again now? Is it coming
Yeah.
back?
Yeah. I mean, I've been going to liquor stores and sitting there for like 2 hours. You meet some interesting people at liquor stores, by the way.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, because the people that come in that aren't coming in to see me, I'm like, damn,
Hey, how are you?
they're already at it like at noon on a Tuesday.
It's insane to me.
So we've been doing those in stores, and those have been going really good. So, and doing tastings and stuff with it, and I think I know a lot of artists have launched their own spirits, right? It's kind of popular.
Well, I mean, I think tequila is the one now that everyone wants to launch. I mean, not a lot of people are doing bourbon though.
Yeah, craft whiskey and craft bourbon is like, if you read about the industry, all signs point to that's the next thing. That's the next tequila.
Yeah.
For a minute it was vodka, right?
Yep.
And then
It was vodka. Then now it was tequila. Everyone has a tequila. I could see bourbon, and have you had any like the Japanese bourbon and stuff like that?
I have not.
It's pretty good. It's really good. Brandon? Have you had any of that?
All I've had is the Nika from the barrel, which
Gotcha.
is awesome.
He's on it right now.
Also very malty.
Just drinking it right now. Yeah, I mean, I think bourbon's, and well, it's hard to find too. Like, it's just some of this stuff is impossible.
Yeah, the cool thing about our product, I think, is I can't tell you everything about it, right? I did it as
Don't need to.
I did it as a consumer.
Sure.
The dudes on the team and the guys that we've hired, like
Yep.
there's a dude in New York, there's a dude in LA.
Did they come to you, or did you like, hey, I want to do a bourbon?
The guys that I started it with, I've known for 20 years. Like I used to sleep on one of the dudes' couches when
I feel like you know everyone for 20 years.
I
at this
didn't have
point.
any money and we were in that 88 Suburban. I'd play his bar and he'd let me sleep on the couch,
Fair enough.
Put gas in our tank and we'd go on down and play another show. So that's how long I've known the founders. And so
wow.
it was a COVID project. I think everybody had those COVID projects. But
You had nothing else
mine
going on.
Turned out to be drinking whiskey on Mondays.
Could be worse.
Could be.
Could be worse. So you got some new music.
New music in the can. So
In the can.
Yeah, done, finished. New album out October 14th,
October 14th.
which is our 9th studio record.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Looking back, yeah. There's songs I can't even tell you what albums they were on or...
I listen to all your stuff all the time, but like today in the office, this morning at lunch, we were just kind of going through all your stuff, and it's like, it just goes and goes.
I think I recall that you liked Damn the Rain. Is that
Damn the Rain, like that one?
I remember getting texts from you way back in the day. Like
Love
2
it.
in the morning, Damn the Rain.
Love that song. Love that song. It,
Damn the Rain at Soldier Field.
fucking Soldier Field, that place. God, some nightmares. Yeah, I mean, your catalog is just.
Yeah,
huge.
there's so many songs we don't play, right?
Yeah.
Because we have a 90-minute set. That's
Yeah,
about 25 songs.
Yeah, and there's 50 that could be played easily.
Yeah. I think what we'll do, like, eventually is tour and just play one record, start to finish. And just even
do
do
it.
that for like a month or 2
Yeah.
months. Not the whole year, but just like, hey, here's Roller Coaster, or
Yep.
here's Like It Used to Be,
Yep.
here's, Just a Matter of Time. So that'd be cool. That'd be a real brain. It would mess with me.
Could we flip back and like, hey, like you can sing songs from 2005, 2006,
A
2007?
select few.
Huh?
A select
few.
few.
There'd be some ones like, hey, I gotta look back at this.
Yeah, if you requested something, I'd be like, nah, bro.
Not happening.
I'm gonna play you this one though. Here's a new one.
Did you write all the new songs coming out?
Yeah, all but one.
Yeah.
So they're co-writes and
Yeah.
there's one song I didn't write, but that's also good. Like if you look back, how many songs Willie Nelson didn't write.
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's crazy. Like some of his
There's a lot of guys that didn't write.
biggest songs
Yeah.
he didn't write. But then some other people's biggest songs Willie wrote. So like I've never been afraid to cut like an outside song.
Sure.
Like you hear a song and it's undeniable, cut it. Cut it so nobody else cuts it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
The song that they sent over today, like, is this about your dad?
Yes.
He just passed.
Yeah, it's an emotional song.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most like revealing songs maybe I've ever
Yeah.
cut. It's called Heart for Just One Team.
Yep.
About football.
Yeah, it's a great Dallas. Yeah.
So it's just about a true story. My dad surprising me Sunday, picking me up, taking me to the Cowboys game. Huge diehard Cowboys fan. Which, by the way, just for the audience, Jay was so nice and had me and my dad at a game in Arlington.
Yep.
And invited us backstage after they beat the Cowboys' ass.
I don't know if I've lost there many times. I don't know if I have lost in Dallas.
Well, you beat their ass that game. But yeah, went back and met my dad. Appreciate that. So my dad passed in 2020, not from COVID. Long battle with cancer.
Yeah.
But football was one thing that we had in common. We didn't have
Sure.
a whole lot in common. Once again, he's a preacher.
Yep.
About 16, I was later. But we always had football in common. So
Sure.
the song is about
It's a good song. Love
that
it.
relationship, and for me it was the Cowboys. But if you think about it, everybody has that image of their dad or their mom
Sure.
taking them to their favorite sporting
Yep.
event.
Yep.
Sports has always been such a big part of my life. I played sports, obviously wasn't good at it, so I started playing guitar. But sports to me, and especially pro and college sports, just you remember those
Yeah.
moments that you spend with loved ones.
Yep.
In the music industry, it's a song, right? Like you hear a song you hadn't heard in a while, you think immediately back to that summer
Sure.
you know, that relationship. And in many ways, like looking back in those childhood memories that you spent at a sporting event with your dad, I mean, that's everybody, right? I mean, that's
easy. Yeah.
So I hope the song, even though it does reference, you know, the Cowboys, people hate the Cowboys, obviously. You can see past the fact that it's about your experience with sports.
Yeah, it's definitely deeper than that. And I think a lot of your songs have I mean, the way that you write and the way that you sing them, like there's a lot of depth there to them. Like you can get lost in them, and you can definitely feel it and make sense of it.
Yeah, the first time I tried to sing the song, like in the studio, I just like
Lost it. Yeah.
I need a moment. It was embarrassing, but at the same time, I think it's captured on the recording.
Yeah.
So
You can feel it.
the depth, like you're talking about, and the believability, and it is the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, it fucking happened, you know. And looking back, you know, what a great moment that was. Even though
absolutely.
Cowboys fucking break my heart.
Could be maybe this year's the year.
No, I'm tired of believing that.
It's gonna happen when you least expect it.
But it was so funny. I got so much hate because, like, when you were playing in Chicago, like, I fell in love with Chicago in general. Just all
Great town.
always loved Wrigley, and
Yeah.
you know, great town. Got so many friends there. Ed Warm, shout out to Ed Warm.
Oh, Ed. Oh gosh. I mean, so many. He's broken so many people up there.
Joe's Bar.
Joe's Bar.
Love
Yep.
you, Ed. Yeah, I fell in love with Chicago, and I fell in love with the people there, and the food, everything about the city. And then you were there,
Yep.
and we had met. So I'm like, that's it. I'm done with the Cowboys. And so I started wearing like decked out Bears stuff.
Bears fan now.
Oh, dude, all my friends disowned me.
I'm sure.
Yeah, our fiddle player Brady. Because then, like, we'd be watching the games on Sunday, and I'd be rooting for the Cowboys too, obviously, right?
sure.
And he'd, no, you can't. You absolutely cannot. Like, you're not invited anymore. You are not in the, you know. It was great.
Don't underestimate a comfy pair of pajamas. And you can get the softest pajamas imaginable from our friends at Lake Pajamas. Lake Pajamas make PJs for women, men, and kids in all sorts of fabric options. Try their signature 100% Pima cotton that gets softer with every wash. Bamboo, poplin, and more. I've tried the bamboo pants and Pima tees, and they're so soft and easy to sleep in. I love them. My kids do too. Just go to lakepajamas.com and use code J10 for 10% off your purchase. That's lakepajamas.com and use code J10 for 10% off. Limited one-time use per customer. Uncut with Jay Cutler is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Let's face it, sometimes multitasking can be a little overwhelming. Like when your favorite podcast is playing and the person next to you is talking and your car fan is blasting, all while you're trying to find the perfect parking spot. But then again, sometimes multitasking is easy, like quoting with Progressive Insurance. They do the hard work of comparing rates so you can find a great rate that works for you, even if it's not with them. Give their nifty comparison tool a try, and you might just find getting the rate and coverage you deserve is easy. All you need to do is visit Progressive's website to get a quote with all the coverages you want, like comprehensive and collision coverage or personal injury protection. Then you'll see Progressive's direct rate, and their tool will provide options from other companies all lined up and ready to compare, so it's simple to choose the rate and coverages you like. Press play on comparing auto rates. Go to Progressive.com to join the over 27 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
All right, man. I know you got shit to do. Show tomorrow.
Show tomorrow, then I go to Denver Tuesday
Grizzly Rose.
now I'm doing a private party.
Oh, of course you are.
Yeah,
And then all over Texas.
on the road again.
On the road again.
The words of Willie Nelson. And then in the summer, Wade Bone and I are doing Hold My Beer, Watch This.
Yep.
We're writing songs now for another record for that, which would be the third one. So,
Oh, you guys gonna do a third one?
yeah,
That'd
it's
be
too much fun. It's like all the old Mo and Joe records.
You're never gonna quit.
No, that's what my wife said this morning. Actually, she said you're gonna have to start saying no.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know. I don't know if you can say
It's
no.
just tough, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. So yeah, and then August we're gonna go up to the which is a great time to spend in the Pacific Northwest in August. So you're not in Texas when it's 125 degrees.
Yeah, a million degrees.
Yeah, so, you know, we call it, like I said, the Never Ending Tour, RandyRogersBand.com. Facebook,
RandyRogersBand.com.
Instagram, Randy Rogers Band.
All the stuff. Check him out. Find out the tour. He's amazing. Songs are amazing. Where do we find the bourbon?
So Bond Breaker, BAHNBRE, it's KR.
Okay.
You can check it out online. Right now, we're distributed through Texas.
Texas?
Yeah.
You and Troy Aikman, only in Texas.
Yeah, I saw Troy the other day. He's looking fit. You're looking fit too, by the way.
Thank you.
Troy's ripped. Like, not that you're not ripped.
I'm not ripped. Hey, have you had his beer yet?
I've had his beer. He sent me a little care package.
Any good?
Delicious.
You have to say that.
Of course. Yeah, it was fun. I ran into him the other day at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
I was out with Cody Jinks, and we stopped by the booth and said hi to Troy and Buck. It was pretty funny. I'd never seen him in his like element of work.
Yeah. He's good.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
That is a hard job, I would think.
Well, I mean, I'll say it. I don't care. Joe has being the play-by-play guy is the hard job. The color guys, it's not that hard.
Yeah.
I mean, you're kind of just saying shit.
Yeah, but we would say shit. Actually, the word shit.
We probably would say shit. That's why we're not.
I
That's
don't
why
know.
we're not on TV.
I don't know how you can like train your brain not to like.
I mean, I have like. There's definitely podcasts where I'm like, I'm just not gonna cuss on this one. I just don't cuss. And the other one was like, I just don't give a shit, so we'll just say shit.
Yeah.
But like doing play-by-play and like what Joe does, and like he does baseball too. Like filling 3 hours
Right.
of just, because I mean, baseball games, like there's nothing happening sometimes, and being able to fill that time, like that's a skill that I just don't have.
Yeah, I ain't trying to throw shade at nobody, but I'm not really convinced Tom Brady's going to keep my attention on TV, unless he is not.
We were talking about it.
He needs to be like
in the office.
a jerk or something. Is he going to be?
Well, here's the like. I think
Something?
he's kind of going down that road of like. Because he's changed a lot over the last 3 or 4 years. You know, he used to be very reserved.
Right. That's
Didn't
what
say
the only
anything.
Brady I know is like, thank you. I
Yes,
won.
and now he's getting some edge to him. You know, talking some shit, doing all this stuff. So I don't know if he's literally just getting ready for TV, but like I don't like to your point. Like I don't see him going on TV and just ripping anybody.
No.
But maybe. I mean, they paid him a shit ton of money, so something's got to happen.
Everyone will be watching.
Well, yeah, I watched the first one, and then that'd probably be it.
Yeah. Do you watch football anymore?
I tell you what, my 9. So I've got a 9, 8, and 6 now, and boy, girl, and my 9-year-old boy is obsessed. Like literally, like he asks every day to play football. I'm like, just played lacrosse. I'm like, let's just do this lacrosse thing. Like you don't want to get in the football world, but every Sunday, 12 o'clock till bedtime, every game, which is fun.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of fun.
You're going to be throwing that football quite a bit.
We were just on vacation. I got back and like my back was sore. And I was like, why am I sore? I'm like, I literally throw the ball like 1,000 times to him, but it's fun.
One more question for you.
Sure.
When's the last time you were in Losers?
Too soon?
Last weekend.
I was like, couple nights ago. I mean, Steve. I was in Derby with Steve Ford. I mean, he's awesome. It's
Nice.
Like Losers and Tin Roof were kind of the only bars
Yeah.
back then, and they've literally. I mean, they're like you. Like they've stood the test of time. Like they're
Yeah.
not going anywhere. You going to Losers now? We're doing a NASCAR event. When's the NASCAR event? June 23rd. We're doing a NASCAR event at Losers because there's a NASCAR race.
Sweet.
And we teamed up with Steve, and we're going to do an event there. It'll be fun.
Yeah, my condo for the last 12 years is right out the back door. So I've been able to just walk up 19th and shut down Losers.
Maybe I'll see you there tonight.
Right on. Thanks for having me.
Oh, pleasure, man. Anytime.
Right on.
Check him out, Randy Rogers Band, on all the socials, internet. See him in concert. You will not be disappointed at all. He's fucking phenomenal.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Cheers.